right, well, big day. Polished it up very quickly. The Japanese are very wealthy people. Regardless, here's the thing. I'm probably going to get back to my book, Chin Part 2. I don't know if Chin Part 2 will ever completely be finished. Chin is finished, but Chin Part 2, I'm probably going to maybe add a little bit, maybe some exposition of where I'm at now, because the two characters are in two different places, and I'll have to read a little bit of Chin Part 2, because it's been a while since I picked it back up. But I am going to include the cat, which is also included in my children's story, which is Mid-Cities Boulevard Squirrels, East Mid-City Boulevard Squirrels, and West Mid-City Boulevard Squirrels. Or it's actually Mid-Cities Boulevard Squirrels. It's a great tongue twister for actors. Mid-Cities Boulevard Squirrels. Now that one I'm going to hang back on, because a children's story is very, very different than an adult story. You can go very quick. You can throw it all down on you can kind of brainstorm right on an adult story. You can't do that on a children's story, because the children readers are very different than adult readers. So you have to masterfully think wordsmith-wise, almost like a song, when you're dealing with a children's story. Okay? So we're going to let that one even hang. But in my children's story, Mid-City Boulevard Squirrels, there is a farmer's cat named Edmund. And Edmund, my cat, is actually based on that character cat. When I was writing that story, I don't believe in the supernatural, but then when I was writing the story, this stray cat, ran into my place, under my legs, several times. I tried feeding him tuna, I tried letting him go, he kept running back in. So in my mind, I thought he was some kind of fictional character I had created, but he's actually a real cat. And I named him Edmund, but he's got a full name. Edmund Tuxedo Cassavetes. Now, in Chin Part 2, since I changed things around, I changed names. Linda, of course, is Catch 22 Lady. I am going to change Edmund's name in that. Now, I have to go back to see if I even mentioned Edmund, but I may have, and that's okay. But in the story, he's called Edmund Catsavetti, or Catsavetti, with a T. So I don't know if people are really going to get the combination, but me as a inspiring filmmaker, I named my cat Edmund Tuxedo Cassavetes after John Cassavetes, or Nick Cassavetes, either or works. But John Cassavetes I'm very pleased with. So he's going to be Edmund Catsavetti in the story, so he'll have a more of a legit name. Still working on that bridge. Now, as the horizon, yeah, there it goes. That's Fort Worth right there. So we're having an early day. Got Linda back to Sonic, and then I'm gonna see what I can do with Chin Part 2 today. And while we're talking about cats, remember that Cat Williams will be there November 24th at WinStar. Cat Williams, check him out. Just be sure to wear a vest, as in a bulletproof vest. Now we're still approaching Fort Worth, Texas. Fear God and give him glory. Revelations 14. Still up there. It did bring back the lion to Fort Worth Zoo, so the pride has returned. And the exit to the Fort Worth Zoo is right here. So the lion has returned. The pride. So when Angel left me, she took all 3 children, and David's the oldest, he's my son. The last thing that David and I did together as father and son was we went to that Fort Worth Zoo and saw the 2 lions. I believe there was a white lion, I think is what they called it, and then the other lion, which is, I believe, the female. There was a male and female lion there, I believe. David and I had to rush off, and Angel got very scared because she thought I was running off with David, and I wasn't. We were just visiting at the zoo. This is when Angel had already left, but we had met back up at the zoo so we could walk around and talk. And I wanted to take David to see the lion, so I did. And then after we saw the lion, which we had to really rush up there quickly, we got to see the 2 lions, and then I went back and returned David to Angel because that's what Angel wanted. And you know, I haven't seen them really since that day that I can think of. No, she did return. Yeah, she did return, and we had Gwendolyn because Angel was still pregnant with Gwendolyn then. So she was in the belly, but she's still a kid. Gwendolyn was still in Angel's belly, and then I went to go see the lions with David, and then Elizabeth was there too. We saw giraffes too, and a bunch of other zoo animals. But after I returned David, and then of course said goodbye to Elizabeth and Gwendolyn, they actually came back to me and stayed with me until Gwendolyn was born. And then I think I went out for a ride. I went out to do Uber, and I think I was gone for about 10 hours. I came back, and I think it was March 9th of 2019. And that was the last I'd ever see of my children until she acknowledges my existence. I'm talking about Angel. There he is. Edmund Cassavetes. Let's get some cat food. So we're not going to work on Skinny Pete, but we are going to pull up an older story known as Chin, and this is actually Chin Part 2. C-H-I-N Part 2. So we're going to pull it up. I've got some ideas on some exposition and stuff that I want to add, and I got to clean out the cat box and then feed Kitty. Are you okay, Kitty? Hey. Edmund? All right. He likes to play with my feet when I write. All right, so one thing that I have to do in order to pull up Chin is I have to go over to Windows. And I vow to only deal with Apple from now on. Right, so back doors just to pull up documents, which pulls up this little window here, and then we just see if we can find it. These are only on documents right here. And lo and behold, it's there, right here. Chin. Now, we're also looking for what's known as Chin Part 2. Chin 2. Which we are now pulling up. Pulls up this little guy right here, and it sets up. So please wait while setup prepares the necessary files. And this is why I'm switching over to Apple. Because Microsoft does not know how to keep up with the times. And they can do it, but it takes a long time. In an Apple computer, it would already be ready to go. I'd be typing and drinking my tea. Here, I'm waiting for what's called a configuration progress. So we go through the configuration of Microsoft Office Home Student 2007. Yes, it's older, but that still doesn't matter. Okay, I don't have to sit there and buy all his Microsoft products, Mr. Bill Gates. Okay, and this will go on and on and on until it finally pulls up. And then we'll begin to work on Chin. By the time it pulls up, I've lost almost all my inspiration. But I'm going to hold on to it for a little while. Right, Kitty? Yeah, I agree with Apple too. We're waiting. Chin part 2 is up. Kitty's ready to basically attack my ankles. And we're going to go ahead and add on to Chin part 2. Then I'll set it up to my cloud. And yeah, maybe I'll post it on Fiction Press 2. I'll post a bunch of versions of it. Usually if there's more than one version, it just means I've added on to it and didn't delete the other one. So just figure it out as you go.